The Skylab program uses much of the Apollo hardware. For instance, the laboratory will be launched by the first two stages of the Saturn V vehicle shown here in its Apollo configuration. Within the space that would normally be the rocket's third stage, most of the Skylab components will be assembled prior to launch. 3 of the smaller Saturn 1B vehicles will be used to transport 3 separate crews to the laboratory. The Saturn 1Bs will be launched from Pad B of the Saturn V launch complex. Being smaller, they will be mounted on and launched from a pedestal. All vehicles and payloads will be assembled in the huge vehicle assembly building and transported vertically to the launch pads. The Launch Control Center, built for the Saturn V, will be used for all 4 launches. The laboratory will be launched first and placed into a near circular orbit at 235 nautical miles altitude and a 50-degree angle with the equator. This high angle permits Skylab to fly over all of the United States except Alaska, and in fact over about 75% of the entire surface of the Earth. After reaching orbit, the protective fairing is jettisoned. The craft is stabilized, and the telescope mount is rotated to point the telescopes toward the sun. Solar panels are folded during launch, then deployed in orbit to convert sunlight into electricity to operate the telescopes and provide power for the rest of the laboratory. Next day, a Saturn 1B is launched with the first 3-man crew in an Apollo spacecraft adapted to this mission. The spacecraft is maneuvered into an orbit that permits rendezvous and docking with the laboratory. The men transfer to the workshop and begin their mission.